Raider Nation, what's going on? This is your boy Real Raider 805 coming at you real quick with an instant reaction video to our recent Week 4 loss to the Los Angeles Chargers, losing 17-24. You got to bear with me. This is going to be an interesting one. The frustrations are real with the Raider Nation. Spent the last hour or so just kind of going through the presser, going through some of the reactions to the nation regarding the loss. For most of you that have followed it, our rookie fourth rounder out of Purdue, Aiden O'Connell, started the game, which was a great decision by McDaniel's. Did a great job really plugging the rookie in, seeing what he has. I know the nation was excited about it. Obviously, our previous starter, Jimmy Garoppolo, was on concussion protocol, so he couldn't make the game. He didn't even travel with the team, so he was out. So there was a lot of controversy whether or not Aiden O'Connell was going to play or Hoyer was going to play. And lucky for us, Aiden O'Connell got the start, which is a great decision. So just wanted to do a quick recap of the game and just my reaction to it. And again, after seeing a lot of the feedback from the nation, a lot of feedback off of social media, I think a lot of people were excited to see Aiden, and I was as well. And I think at the end of the day, I think Aiden did a really good job. I think you can't judge a lot off of a rookie with his first start in the National Football League, but just some of the takes, in my opinion, on the game. If we start out the game, first half, let's just look at the first half, right? First half, I think Chargers just straight up dominated. They came into the game with a good game plan. I think they had a total of 155 rushing yards in the entire game. They averaged 10 plus yards a carry in that first half. So the majority of that 155, they ran down our throat. They had a ton of rushing yards in that first half, set the tone. They did what I wished we could have done. You get in front of those sticks, you get yourself in a second and 4, second and 3 situation so that you have that option to either hit the short yardage plays, run, or even take a deep shot. And we just didn't find ourselves in those situations, but the Chargers did a good job. One thing that we did was we helped them with a bunch of dumb penalties. David Long Jr. coming in, it was third and 4 for the Chargers, and Keenan Allen goes in motion. And what happens? David Young Jr. follows his way, goes up to press him man to man, and what does he do? He lines up in the neutral zone. I mean, in my opinion, that's Pop Warner stuff. Look at where you're at on the field. That gives them an automatic first down, and what happens? That turns into a touchdown, 6 points for the Chargers. They kick the field goal, 7 points total. It's just a dumb play. And then you have Tillery. Tillery hits Herbert on the sidelines, gets ejected for a late hit. I mean, my biggest thing is, did that warrant an ejection? No, but you know what? The NFL, they're soft on quarterbacks in this day and age. So guess what? He's ejected. You can question whether or not the ejection was appropriate. Was it necessary? But at the end of the day, guess what? It's a blatant late hit on a quarterback. You got ejected. I may not agree with the ejection, but it is what it is. You shouldn't have conducted. You shouldn't have done the late hit anyways. So we go into halftime down 24-7 by shooting ourselves in the foot, by making our own mistakes. But then we enter the second half. The second half, defense did a hell of a job. I'm going to come out and say it. Defense did a hell of a job. You only give up 2 first downs in the second half. That's the start. And you shut them out. You shut them out the entire second half. I think in my opinion, you're doing that with a defense that didn't have a lot of resources in the offseason. We didn't pour a lot of resources in the defense in the second half or in the offseason. So the expectation is on the offense. In the first half, on our second drive, we go down and we score, which I think was a great score. It was a great drive. McDaniel's did a great job of using misdirection. He got a lot of players involved. I think Trey Tucker got a touch in that drive. Used misdirection to really throw that defense off a little bit. We get down to the 1 yard line or inside the 1 yard line. What does McDaniel's do? He finishes it off with an AOC quarterback sneak. Aiden O'Connell, he goes in with the quarterback sneak. You could easily have given it to Josh Jacobs, which I think a lot of people would have said that was the right call. But in my opinion, I think, and I was saying this, I was texting a couple of my guys during this, is saying you finish this drive off with an Aiden O'Connell quarterback sneak, his second drive in his NFL career. That can be a motivating factor, a pivotal factor in his career. Get him going, give him some confidence. So we finished that drive off with a quarterback sneak to score a touchdown, and that was great. In my opinion, that was a great call. But again, what happens? We stall out. We don't put any points up the rest of the first quarter, the rest of the first half, and the defense had to make up for it. In the first half, the defense made there was a lot of missed tackles, unwarranted penalties, like we were stating before, and then we reached the second half. In the second half, I think it was a tale of really offensive line struggled. We did take some deep shots on the offense, which is great. I think that softened up the defense a little bit, which I think led to Josh McDaniels having a good day. I'm sorry, not Josh McDaniels, Josh Jacobs having a good day. Josh Jacobs actually, it was his coming out party for the 2023 season. He did a really good job. He only had, I believe it was roughly around 50 plus rushing yards, but he had a lot of short yardage catches where he was able to extend those catches, 5, 10, 15 yards. I think at one point we were third and I believe it was 18, dumped it off to Josh Jacobs, and he scrambled his way and converted on the 3rd and 18. I mean, that's huge. So I think in the second half, the defense stepped up. Josh Jacobs, I think he had a career day when it comes to him just being able to show what he has and prove that us given the contract that we gave him, it justifies it. But the offensive line still struggled. The offensive line struggled a little bit. Khalil Mack, I mean, he's been non-existent for almost 2 years, and I believe today he comes around and is a tear. 6 sacks on the day. I believe he was going up against Jermaine Illuminor, our right tackle, the majority of the day, and I mean he was tearing him up. Khalil Mack was having a field day, and our offensive coordinator, our head coach, our guru, Josh McDaniels. I mean, you got to figure out ways to be able to identify Khalil Mack is the force on that defensive side. Joey Bosa was out. So you got to find out ways. How do you chip them? How do you bring help? How do you double team them? And we really didn't have an answer. And it proved with a total of 6 sacks on the day for Khalil Mack. But in the second half, we went flat. We got a little momentum. We started to get a couple deep balls. We threw one deep to Jacoby Myers, and unfortunately there was a push-off call, which, good call, but I love the fact that we tried to go deep. We attempted to go deep. I think that's why Josh Jacobs had a decent day, because we threatened that deep ball. We threatened that we could go deep, that we could push that ball down the field. So I think at the end of the day, it was good. We may not have converted on all of them, but I think it was good. But I think in the second half, the defense stepped up. only giving up 2 first downs, shutting the Chargers out. Um, there was a swing kind of late in the third quarter, early in the fourth, where you're sitting there going, yes, the game's not going our way 100%, but you know what? Let's keep pushing. Let's keep plugging away. And there's a good chance we can start chipping away at this lead. And we did. We got in within a touchdown. And so I credit our team for that. I credit our resilience a little bit. I mean, it got me excited. It got the people that I was communicating with excited. I mean, we were in it. It kind of got our hopes up again. But unfortunately, as we've seen over the last year, last year with Josh McDaniel's, we there's only a few minutes left in the game, and we're down by a touchdown. In my previous post or my previous video, you'll see one of my keys to victory was force Brandon Staley, the head coach for the Chargers, force him to make a mistake, force him to do something so out of the box, like he's proven that he's done in the past, that's going to just kill that Chargers momentum or kill the Chargers ability to be able to win the game. And he did it again. It's late in the fourth quarter. It was 4th and 1. He tried to just make a statement. He tried to kill us a little bit by going for that 4th and 1 quarterback sneak with Herbert. And what did the Raiders do? We stopped them. I believe we were inside the Chargers 30. There was 2+ minutes left in the game, and for some reason we're rushing. For some reason we're trying to rush the line. We're not taking into consideration that we have multiple timeouts and we have the 2-minute warning, and we're rushing, and then we get all the way down, inside the 5-yard line. And what do? We attempt to pass the ball, and that's when Aiden O'Connell throws the pick. You're inside the 5-yard line with the former rushing champion, Josh Jacobs, which is having a great day. And we still need to bleed a little bit of that clock. We need to kill some of that clock, because even if, we're inside the 5, even if we score, we're still giving Herbert and that Chargers offense a little bit of time. You got to be aware of the situation and the timing. The clock management is a huge part of the game. And we're rushing, and we got to make sure that we score, but we don't give the Chargers enough time to make a drive. Because if we score and kick the field goal, we're just tying the game. The Chargers can come back. We can score, kick the ball off to the Chargers, right? And you got Herbert, one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They just need to get into field goal position. That's it. So you need to be aware of the clock. And I felt like the Raiders were just in this mode of hurry. They were rushing to the line. They were going no huddle offense. And we had plenty of time. And at the end of the day, you have a rookie quarterback. His first game, his first start. Slow that game down a little bit. A lot of people talk about it, right? Once the game starts to slow down for you, now you can become the athlete that you are. And what the Raiders did, and the feeling that I had late in that fourth quarter, I felt like we were rushing so much with 2 minutes left in the game, when we could have taken our time. We could have slowed things down, bleed that clock a little bit. And if we score and we kick that extra point, game is tied. And now hopefully we kick off the ball. Chargers maybe have, less than 30 seconds to play with. And that puts us in a good position to put it into overtime. But we rushed it. Ends the game. Aiden O'Connell drops back when we should have, in my opinion, handed it off to Josh Jacobs. try to really get that ball in the end zone in a safe way. And he throws a pick to the right side and ends the game. And with that, the Raiders are now 1-3, playing in a primetime game against the Green Bay Packers. And up to this point, the Green Bay Packers, they seem like a pretty good ball club. They got Jordan Love run that offense. There was a little bit of speculation on how well Jordan Love was going to do because the exit of Aaron Rodgers, but he's doing well. He's proven that he can win some games. He can sustain that offense. And what the Raiders have proven is that we're going to struggle. We're going to struggle both offensively and defensively, even though the defense had a good first half, or I'm sorry, a good second half. It's got to be a complete game. We haven't been able to put a complete game together. And going into this, I love my Raiders. I'm passionate about the Raiders. I bleed silver and black. But at the end of the day, I'm a realist. I look at the Raiders. I look at my Raiders um, as one of my kids. I love my kids to death. I love all three of my kids to death. But at the same time, if they make a mistake, I'll call them out on it. And that's the same thing with my Raiders. I'll call them out. I'll let them know how I feel. And going into next week's game against Green Bay, I will start watching that game with all the confidence in the world as I've done for the last 30 plus years. But the reality is that the confidence just isn't there. And because that's what the Raiders have shown us, is shown the Raider Nation, the fans, that's what they've shown us, is that we can go in with the highest hopes as possible, but they make mistakes that the good organizations don't. So that's kind of my recap. It's my instant reaction. I apologize if I rambled on, but just know I'm going to continue with this content. I'm going to continue with giving you kind of my pregame, postgame reactions, injury reports, roster news, all that fun stuff. And then as I grow milestones with this, with the subscribers and notification, people clicking that notification button. I live here locally in the Vegas area, and I'm able to attend certain events, get autographs, and man, I want to share that love with the entire Raider Nation. So I'll be doing some giveaways, some autographs, stuff like that. So roll with me with this journey that I'm on, and hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, so that you can be involved in any giveaways that I do as I roll on this journey. So appreciate you guys. I'll give you more content, but until then, Raider Nation, I'm out. Appreciate you all.